Hey everybody, Wade Bloodgood here. Wanted to talk about a subject going on in our country right now. It's been going on for a long time, and it's just basically bullying. People bullying everybody. People bullying themselves, parents bullying each other, parents bullying their kids, kids bullying kids, kids picking on people, parents picking on people. The news is always picking on fucking people. It's like there's a serious problem in that. You know, it creates a lot more bigger problems. I've realized for myself. I mean, I was bullied, and I also did bullying myself, probably to try to make myself feel stronger or better, or to fill that hole of inferiority of feeling like you want to be better, but you're not. So you think putting people down is going to be the way to go about it, and it's not the way. It's so unhealthy. It's creating so many fucking problems, and our children are the ones suffering from it. And I feel like it's a great duty, not to necessarily our government or anybody else to have to be the ones to take the immediate action, but I think it's us, the parents, that have to take the immediate action to recognize that what bullying really is, and how are we doing it to our kids, and are we witnessing our kids doing it? Are we encouraging bullying in some way or another without even realizing it? Because a lot of us, even though we're awake walking around, we're not very conscious. A lot of people walking around in an unconscious state, not even realizing what they're doing, so busy looking outside of themselves at everything else, they can't see that they actually might be a little bit part of the problem too. And if you got a problem with the problems in the world, then why don't you be part of the solution and offer, a real hand in it, instead of waiting for somebody somewhere else to do something about it, or wait till your kids get fucking shot and killed for you to do something about it, There's a lot of facts going on out there right now, people. When somebody goes out into society and shoots up places with a gun, pretty much those people have a problem with society, right? When people go and they shoot up their house and their kids and their or their parents or whatever, they got a problem with what's going on inside their home. When somebody goes out to a school and they decide to shoot up the school and other kids and other classmates, they got a problem what's going on there. Normally, wherever the problem's stemming from is where where they feel the problem stemming from is where the person's going to try to take it back out on those people, because they're hurting and they're suffering as well. But we don't give a shit about that, right? We don't care that somebody gets to the point where they've either been bullied so much, put down so much, or been dealing with some mental stress without any fucking help, that they end up loading up a gun and they end up going taking some fucking people out because of it. I mean, honestly, they don't feel like living at all. So what's it matter if some other people get taken out? What's it fucking matter? The fact is, a lot of these people that are doing this shit, that are shooting other fucking people, they were innocent bystanders at one point too. They were innocently being victimized and being bullied by fucking somebody, and nobody did anything about it. No parents did anything, no school did anything, nobody did anything. Nobody shut down the situation, nobody helped heal the situation. And then this innocent person loads up a gun and goes kills a bunch of other innocent people. And now all of a sudden, that innocent person, whether it's a child or an adult, is now the piece of shit and an evil monster because of, oh my God, look at my poor kids being fucking killed by this monster. Well, that monster was an innocent kid too at one fucking time, okay? And this is what happens when the shit builds up and there's no release. People take it to the extreme motherfucking level. And then maybe, let's just say your kid isn't pushing anybody around, but your kid was one of these innocent kids that got shot because some innocent kid that was being pushed around turned into a monster to express himself, that he can't take it anymore, or she can't take it anymore. It all starts at home, man. It all starts with us talking with our kids. Are you okay? And you can see when your kids aren't okay. And even yourself, do you even know what you're doing? I hear fathers and mothers talking so horribly to each other, and talking, and I see a lot of dads bullying their boy kids, the way that they talk to them, calling them pussies. Oh, it's like comparing them to be a girl, using a lot of just derogatory fucking statements towards their fucking children. And it's like, how does that make your children feel? And then when they go out and they see somebody else different or somebody that might resemble them, they attack them and put them down too. I mean, adults do it all the fucking time. So kids are learning a lot of this bad behavior from the adults. They're learning it somewhere, you know, and there is no putting a stop to it. There's no like there's no real punishment till the point where, you know, the horrible part is the person that ends up shooting a bunch of people is the one that ends up getting punished. Everybody else is just an innocent bystander. I think that we're all a little bit guilty of, you know, not doing the right thing when we should do the right thing, or turning a fucking cheek because we don't want to get involved in somebody else's situation because we don't want their problem to be our problem. But when their problem starts killing fucking our kids, or their problem is creating more issues for the world, then it is our problem. It is our business. It's our business to make sure that everybody's taken care of and everybody's healthy. You know, there's some statistical facts, and it changes state to state, but in the state of Oregon, basically the average teacher has 22 to 24 students in a class that the teacher, I mean, that's every class, 24 kids to one adult, right? And it's a lot of pressure, all those different individuals with all their different personalities and all their different issues and all their non-issues getting together trying to get an education, right? And they've all got problems besides showing up, going to work, going to school because that's their job, you know? And so who does the teachers get to talk to from all the stress and all the things that they deal with on a daily basis, trying to help not only educate our kids, but also parent our kids, because some of our kids aren't being parented at home. Kids come to school, they're rude as shit to the teacher, they're rude as shit to other students, they're putting other students down, and not a whole lot's being done about it. I mean, very, very little's being done. And then another statistical fact is this: for 524 students, there's one guidance counselor per 524 students on an average at any given school in the state of Oregon, okay? Well, let me tell you something. Sounds like that guidance counselor, like a lot of guidance counselors I know that aren't giving the best guidance counseling, they need counseling, for God's sake. 524 clients every single day that you could potentially be seeing. I mean, for God's sake, man, we need more counselors. We need more, we need assemblies that are addressing bullying. We need classes that kids go to instead of like a homeroom to do homework, which we need to have that too. We need classes that are talking about how our minds work, how our feelings work, what our actions can do for us, how our words can affect something, how our words can hurt people, how our words can build up people. I mean, these are important things our kids need to learn, and they shouldn't have to learn it from school. They should be learning all this shit at home from the parents. But I understand the parents might not have the information. The parents might have been raised in a different situation where, you know, they weren't taught this, so maybe they don't have the tools in their belt right now. But the fact is, we live in a world where you have all day to find out the answers. And you might come home and turn on your TV and watch your bullshit that is part of the problem, because instead of turning on your lives to your family, you're tuning it all out and tuning on some bullshit TV, you know? And the sad part about it, guys, is all these kids that are going to school shooting other kids, and all these adults that are going around shooting up other people in public places, it's fucking sad. It's really fucking sad. You know, another statistical fact out there is 11 children commit suicide a day. 11 children, okay? I won't even talk about the adults that are veterans. I won't even talk about the adults that are not in the military that commit suicide every day. But 11 children a day. 11 children a day. Are you guys fucking serious? That many kids are killing themselves every day because they can't deal with the fucking pressure. And there's way more adults doing it too, because they can't take it either anymore. You know, there's a threshold everybody has, and once it fucking snaps, there's hard to come back from it. It's hard to push back the floodwaters once that gate is broke, you know? And we see people hurting. I know kids right now, and it just tears me up, man, inside, because I want to do something about it so bad. I want to go to these schools and talk to these kids in assembly. I want to be at a homeroom and tell these kids how important they are and how important it is, and the effects that our words have on other people and what that can do to somebody. When you take on the opinion of somebody else's voice about who they think you are, and then you take that voice as your own, and they say you're nothing and you're a piece of shit, or you're a faggot, or you're a lesbian, or you're a poor, you're a loser, you're ugly, you're fat, you're skinny, your clothes aren't good enough. What do you think this shit does to people, man? I mean, they start to fucking believe that shit about themselves. And the next thing you know, they don't feel good about themselves. And when you don't feel good about yourselves, you feel like you don't even matter. Take it from a guy that put a gun in his mouth 4 years ago because I wasn't good enough. And you know what? There's a lot of people I was mad at. And when you're fucking so upset and you feel like you can't take it anymore, it's easy to see why people are taking out other people too along with them. They're so unhappy. And they're just trying to say, hey, this is a way of me showing you guys. But instead we look at it completely different, that these people are monsters. Yes, they turn into a monster to express themselves because they were hurting so bad because nothing ever fucking got done, okay? So teenage kids are going to school now, but how long was this going on? How long were these people suffering? That's the question. How long were other kids going around going, oh, he's weird. Oh, one day he's probably going to shoot the school up. She's probably going to shoot the school up. Oh, look at that person. How many people know already, but don't do anything? Every day they just point their finger at them and say, look, that's the person, that's the ugly person, that's the monster one day. And then they become a monster and we're all fucking shocked. Fucking wake the fuck up. Our kids are on the fucking line here. It's not just about guns, guys. It's about a fucking mental problem. And a lot of that mental problem comes from fucking people bullying people, okay? People being rude, people pushing people around, and nobody doing anything about it. We learn this stuff from our parents, first and foremost. We learn it at home from our siblings that are pushing us around. And I'm not saying people horsing around and kidding around and joking around isn't normal. It is. But there's also a level of it when it doesn't feel good anymore, and we have to fucking recognize when that is, and we have to put a stop to it. We have to sit down with these kids and we have to talk like adults and let them know what the hell's going on. And if we don't, we are just as responsible for the things that are going on out here as much as we want to hold a gun company or our government responsible for this stuff. It's all of us. It's not just a company, it's not just the government, it's all of us, guys. If we all work together and focus on what the real problem is, we could actually all advocate together for that. These companies can advocate for standing up for mental laws, for standing up for mental help. You know what I mean? So when our product that could be poisonous or deadly gets in the hands of a person, because there's a lot of other deadly products out there, and these companies are liable too for if somebody does wrong things for them, that we realize that, we can't control everybody. We can't help everybody. We can't stop people from doing things that they want to do with the bad things that they can get in their hand. But what we can do is address some of the fucking problems that people are going through that lead them to actually doing that. And if we can see that that's the problem, not the product on the shelf isn't the problem. The problem is we're not addressing the actual issues, and we're not doing anything about it. We're not doing it at home. We're not doing it at school. Companies aren't going out, having big events and festivals about these things. They're not. There's a lot of small little nonprofits trying to do their best, trying to educate, that don't make enough money to actually make a huge impact. They're making very little impacts to a few people's lives, and those people are like me, going out trying to do a little bit of what we can. But this is a bigger community issue. This is a big worldly issue, and we need to address it together, because when you're individual trying to lift this weight by yourself, it's difficult. It's difficult, and the emotional feeling that comes with it, because our kids are involved and people's lives are involved, and nobody wants to see anybody die. Nobody wants to see this happen, whether it's natural or not natural, And I just have an invested interest in human life and in people. And I care a lot about the children, because there should be no reason any child anywhere is suffering the way that they are, to do anything that's horrific like this, to take their own lives, or to feel like they got to load a gun up or do something else to take some other people's lives, And I've wanted to die almost my entire childhood life and my adulthood life. I spent a lot of time mistreating myself, trying to take myself out, and it never happened. And I'm so thankful for that, because it allows me now to have a voice, to be able to stand up for that type of person, for the type of person that's, you know, quietly sat in a dark closet for 38 years and tried to kill themselves in the dark closet. And every time I came out, I showed the world that I was doing it. I was unhappy, you know? And so I'm slowly making a difference now by taking actions within my life and speaking up about these fucking things that are going on, so we can help other kids not suffer from this type of stuff, you know? Because it's just, it's ridiculous that people got to go home and feel the way that they do about themselves, and then feel like they got to go out and do something horrific about it, you know? It's not even about getting attention. It's just like, I've had enough and I'm done now. Because once you do something like that, their lives are over anyway, you know? They're gonna go to jail. They got to live with what they've done, and it's just not right. I would rather just try to help be a part of stopping this. You know how many kids died this year in school shootings alone? More kids have died this year in school shootings than I believe I just read statistically than veterans have died in the past so many years over in Afghanistan and Iraq. More kids are dying at home in schools than they are over in the war field, okay? So you should think about that. And maybe all my statistics aren't factual for the area that you're living in, but do a little bit of research about these things. How many kids are killing themselves a day? And just think about, why would anybody do something like this? I love you guys, and I want better for all of us, okay? Thank you.